All right, welcome back to the YouTube channel,
The
the
YouTube channel.
TikTok account, wherever we're posting these things. We are
YouTube.
in YouTube. We're
YouTube.
posting these on YouTube. We're in the studio right now.
Yeah.
We did not build this. We bought it, and some guy with his little remote control car came and dropped it in our backyard, and we just moved some furniture in, and so here we go. We're in the studio, but I think we're gonna kind of pimp it out at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just in our.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do need to take this. So yeah, it's just actually it's a storage shed, 20 by 10. We have a couch in here. We got a hammock. It's actually pretty nice. Cafe lights. We got a little mini fridge, and we got Wi-Fi. So we got everything that you need. But yeah, at some point we'll probably insulate it, put some walls up, make it a little bit nicer. Seems like a lot of the podcast studios have some sort of neon, so maybe we should hang up some neon
We
in
got
here.
some neon kicking around.
We do have some neon kicking around.
All right. So, Abby and Avery were interviewed.
Yeah.
So, we're breaking the formula. We're going with a parent here. This is Rob Clark from That Tall Family. He is the creative genius behind it. He's typically on the other side of the camera. He gets in front of the camera for most of the videos. It's a family affair. But, so yeah, he's the marketing genius. He's the one with connections to Gary Vee, Seth Godin. Who else? Just those guys. You got Tim Ferriss. You talk with him at all,
No.
or
No.
no? But
Yeah, I like to reach out to a lot of people, and Tim is one of those guys that he is like a ghost. Nobody can get to him. I have read in his books where he actually will shut his phone off for long periods of time. And so, yeah, most people that are in the business world, marketing, sales, that whole world, if they write books, you can connect with them almost anywhere. They're very readily available. So, yeah, I've learned from a lot of those guys, mostly reading books, watching YouTube videos. But some of those guys like Seth and Gary I've met, and I personally know them. But yeah, Tim, he's elusive. Not yet.
did we post the video today, the card show video today? So by the time this is up, that card show video will be going for over 24 hours. So how did you first get connected to Gary? Because that's been for over 10 years now.
Yeah, one of the things that I like to teach you kids is that you could reach out to almost anybody, and not everyone's going to respond to you. But when I got serious into the marketing world, that's when I started reading all of Seth Godin books, which he had like 20 books out at the time. He's known as one of the best marketers in the world. And so when I emailed him and then he emailed me back, now this would have been probably 2003, 2004, probably when I emailed him for the first time. And when he emailed back, I just realized that a lot of times these business experts that they will take their time. They'll take time and reach back out to you and respond with you. And so that's how that one started. And then over time, build relationships. And as you read their books and have questions and they answer and respond. And then as social media became more and more readily available to everybody and everybody was on it, yeah, I started getting into Gary Vaynerchuk. And he's obviously one of the best in the world when it comes to social media marketing. And so went down that trail. And yeah, it was about 12 years ago. It was actually Seth Godin that first introduced me to Gary Vaynerchuk before he was known as Gary Vee. And so, yeah, that was, I think, 12, 13 years ago. Read his books, watched a lot of his YouTube content, a lot of good stuff online. If you're going to watch his stuff, though, be warned, he's from New York. And so he has language of someone from New York. So if there's kids in the rooms, just watch out. But having said that, he is a very generous guy that shares his knowledge, and he works with some of the best in the world, the biggest companies in the world doing social media marketing, but also traditional marketing. Like he puts more Super Bowl commercials on each year than anyone else, or at least his company, VaynerMedia, does. And so that the takeaway there was is just to reach out. And now with LinkedIn is another huge one where I've reached out and talked to some of the world class in their specific genre, whatever may be in business or marketing or sales, and often they'll reach back out, like they'll answer the questions and just got to stay persistent with it. And so that's what hopefully I'm teaching you kids is that your network is your net worth. I don't know who made that saying up, but there is some truth to that. And so everything that I've learned from some of these business leaders has obviously helped us as the Tall family and what we're doing today. And so, but you got to be proactive. You got to reach out. Got to be willing to put yourself out there and take a lot of no's. There's a lot of people I've reached out to that never replied, and I get that they're busy. It's just too much, but you got to put yourself out there.
So with Gary Vee and just like making connections and stuff like that, that's kind of part of why we're still doing social media videos kind of like as a full-time gig at this point, is partially just from knowledge from, like Gary Vee and connecting with that. But and we've talked a little bit to like St. Louis Post and stuff about how we got started, but I don't think we've actually talked about it on our own channels, why
That's
we
true.
started doing this or how that actually started going. So
Yeah, so how we started way back in the day, which was like 4 years ago, was is that we were in Michigan. That was during the lockdowns. Schools shut down, restaurants shut down. The North was really tough. Michigan was a tough state to live in. We decided to move to Georgia because it was just open. The kids could go to school. You had an opportunity to go to school there, to play sports. Restaurants were open. It felt like normal life. So we decided to move down there. And that was a time when we did social media, but not to the scale we're at. It wasn't a family brand. We weren't making money off of it. And so that was the time when we decided, let's make a go of it. I remember we talked to all of you kids. We sat down like, hey, you want to move to Georgia? You want to try this thing, social media as a family, make money off of it, maybe get some connections, and eventually leads to a job. And here we are a few years later. But you're right, the connection with Gary, met with him in New York a couple years before that happened. And yeah, learned a lot about like how to monetize social media, what platforms to be on, and just how to be really good at your craft on each of those. Like YouTube's different than Instagram, which is different than TikTok, and when to get on and how to post. And so that it was very helpful, like to learn from somebody that's doing it on such a massive scale. Helped us obviously get a jump start, and we're still doing it today. But yeah, the big idea was is that we could do something as a family. Georgia was a great time for the 2 years that we were there. Great memories that were made, and yeah, started this family brand. And even just talking to Gary V yesterday, Luke and I drove up to Chicago for a card show, met with him, and was talking about like the next iteration of an agency for us to help others with social media, and for me to coach others and how to grow their personal brand. And so he gave some good advice. And so yeah, now it's on to the next thing.
with that being said, like going like on to the next thing and stuff like that, with social media, like money is involved. You mentioned like monetizing social media, and so obviously we get paid to make videos, and brand deals come along, but there also isn't a whole lot of risk, because if you post a video that doesn't do as great, it's not like, oh, you put $1 million into this and it flopped. So what is your approach to just like trying new things, like taking risks, but also knowing that at the end of the day you still need to make content that performs well so you can, make a living off of it?
Yeah, that's why we're doing what we're doing with social media, is that you can just continually try different things. Where if you're doing marketing and you're putting out billboards and you're doing radio ads or print ads in newspapers or magazines, every single ad costs money. And so there's a limit on what you could put out. And if it doesn't perform, you lose that money. Whereas what we do, we know what performs, and we do some of that. Like if we make videos that kind of highlight us being tall, we know they'll perform well. We know they'll get views. It'll get us more followers, and it'll lead to brand deals of brands paying us money to make videos for them. But we're also trying things like this long form, which we're on this would be day 39. So we've made 39 days in a row of videos that, instead of getting hundreds of thousands or even millions of views, get 5,000 views. And so, but we're trying new things, but it doesn't cost us anything except our time. We got to put time, obviously, and effort into it. So there is a cost, but it's not a monetary cost where putting ads out there. And so we're learning from this what videos work, what they don't. We're constantly changing things up. And so as we build an agency, as we work with other brands, as we work with other companies to do this, then we know. So there's so many people in that agency space or in the marketing space, or even chief marketing officers, that actually don't do marketing. Like they don't create social media. They're leading teams to do social media, and they've never done social media. They're not trying for themselves. And so therefore for them it's all theory, where we make all types of videos across all types of platforms. So we know what works, we know what doesn't work. And so even this type of video, which it doesn't get as many views. We're learning. There's a process. We're figuring out thumbnails and titles, the length of a video, the style of the video. We know which videos make more money, which ones make less money. So all that to say is like when you continually do new things, you're learning. And so these videos might lead to something, they may not, but at least we're learning as we go. So I think it's, good for you to pick up on is just got to continually try new things. And some things work, some don't, but you're learning no matter what.
I'm talking about like trying new things and like you're able to post just like an unlimited amount of videos essentially for free. So then like who can get into this? Like who can like get in and just start making videos like on their own? Like what do they need? Like do they need to have something like a plan going in before that? And like with that tall family, we're like, well, we're tall, we have a niche, let's go with that. But like if you don't have like some God-given obvious trait like being tall, like how can you just be like, okay, like I want to make videos, what's the next step after that?
I think ultimately it's finding the thing that you're passionate about. I mean, I would actually advise the way that we did it probably wasn't even the wisest way. And so what we try to do was build a massive following, get massive views, and we were able to do it. And so in a sense, we are very general. And so if brands come to us because they want lots of views, we can do that. But I would say most people would probably be better off if they had like a singular focus, something that they're passionate about. Like Abby, who likes to sing and write music, for her to post every day about music and then about making music and then about listening to music and giving reviews of her favorite bands and why this John Mayer album is better than this one. And so she could literally go down this rabbit trail of music. And so if you're passionate about something, and Luke's getting into sports cards and Avery into photography, there's these things that you go very narrow on and go deep in. I think that actually would probably play out better for most people. And it could be anything. Like right now, this thing that is kind of funny that I make fun of mom for is the seasons, the color of seasons. You could have a channel where you talk nothing about seasons, meaning what color looks good on you. Is black good on you? Is mustard good on you? And depending on your skin tone, it's like this whole thing. And there's probably moms out there right now that could be making literally tens of thousands of dollars because that's all they talk about on their channel, because that's what they really care about. So for anyone, and it could be whether you're an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old, there's something that you enjoy that you know more about than the average person, that could be your thing. And I think if you went in all on one thing like that, then you're going to find an audience. And eventually, if you wanted to continually to push into it, you could monetize and could actually make a career out of it if you wanted to. But it's open to anybody because, again, the entry's free. You just got to put the work in, turn the camera on, press record, and then send it out to the world. That's the only thing that you got to do.
Thank you for joining me for this interview.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming to the studio.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know when we're gonna have this up. Sometime tomorrow.
It'll be up tomorrow.
Sometime tomorrow. I didn't watch Abby and Avery's interviews, but I'm going to assume that this one's probably going to be a little bit different, a little more business focused than what they were talking about. But
Yeah.
if you're someone out there that wants to get into social media, if you want to get into marketing, if you kind of want to get into anything really, I think this will just be like a good video to, give you perspective from someone that's been doing it for a couple years now, that knows people who have been doing it much longer and just, has the experience behind it and some advice and anything like that. So is there anything you want to say before we send it off?
This is a long video that you got to go edit now.